So there are some things you can do right away that will make a direct impact on your business and contribute directly to building your list. So far, we've talked about why growing your contacts is important. Now let's talk about some of the specifics around growing your list. If you build a permission-based list, you will build profit in your business. And if you aren't doing these already, you need to start here. First off, your phone conversations. You have to start talking about your newsletter. Start asking people if they want to join your list. Have a quick way to ensure that you track their permission. Secondly, events. You go out to a networking meeting and you come home with a bunch of business cards. But what good is a business card without explicit permission? You won't be able to continue communicating. No way to encourage them to buy your product or service. Again, get their permission when you get their card. Keep a pen in your pocket and checkmark the card. Invite people to join your list through your email signature. Fourth, if you have a retail store or if you go to trade shows, have a guest book where people can sign up to your list. It's kind of old school, but it really works. Finally, use your online presence to get people to sign up to your list. Tweet a link to your email list sign-up form. If you have a Facebook business page, use one of your tabs to invite people to join. Perhaps use one of your custom fields in your LinkedIn profile to invite people to join your email list as well. In all these cases, be sure to let people know what they'll receive when they sign up to your list. If you really want to motivate people to sign up, you need to offer some kind of incentive. An example is, let's say you're running a consulting company for event managers. If you created a 5-page ebook titled Fill Your Events with Ease, you would entice people who were interested in solving that big problem for event organizers. You could build your list quickly and easily. The fact is, when you begin the habit of asking people, you'll find that people will start joining and your list begins to increase. Stats show that more than 50% of people who are asked will say yes. One tried and true method of building your list is to add a Join My Mail List form on your website. Again, it's really important that you work on offering a good incentive. Take an incentive like the one I suggested for the event marketing consultant and add a Join My List form to your website. You'll entice every visitor to your website to join your list. Everyone is seeing QR codes more and more, but usually they point to a website. One idea is to use the QR code to point people to your email list. When someone scans the QR code, it takes them to the mobile version of your Join My Mailing List sign-up form. Again, your incentive is important here. Don't just say scan this code to join our list, but have it say something like scan this code to join our list and get our free ebook on increasing profit by at least 20% in your business. Your printed collateral can also be a way to drive people to your mailing list. Basically, every interaction you have with a customer, contact, or prospect is an opportunity to entice people to join your list. So think about your business. What are all the different touch points that you have? Then how can you offer something that makes people want to join? You probably have people you're connected with on your social networks who are not yet on your email list. So when you send out an email campaign, share that campaign on your social sites with a link to join your list. Leveraging the relationships you develop on social media to encourage those contacts to opt in to your email list. For example, if you use Facebook, you can use one of the tabs on your business Facebook page to include a Join My Mailing List sign-up form. Remember to make an enticing offer and tell them what they'll get when they join your list. FYI, we have a tool for driving engagement on Facebook and other social media sites. It's part of Constant Contact's toolkit. But if you want it to count as express permission, you do need to make sure that you're clear that they're going to be joining your list. You now need to say join our email list to get our weekly tips, and you will be entered to win an iPad mini. Just a little difference in the signage at trade shows and so on. If you don't make it clear that they're joining your list, then you'll only have implied permission, which expires. So make sure you get express permission by just being careful about the language. It's just about managing expectations of what will happen when they put their card in that fishbowl. Then make sure you track how you got their permission. Okay, I just want to take a moment to highlight a couple of other apps for list building that you may want to look into. Captricity, that's Captricity. Captricity. This is a tool for people who gather business cards at trade shows or events, and you can scan the business cards, and Captricity will convert them into a list so you can import it into your database or email program. If you don't have a lot of cards, then there's a free version. If you have a huge volume, then there are different levels of pricing for that one. Contact Capture. This is a free app that is offered to users of Constant Contact. You use it on your desktop computer so that even if you're not online or logged into Constant Contact, you can add a contact to your list, and when you go online again, it'll automatically update your contacts. iCapture is an app for iPads and Android devices, so it's great if you're at a trade show and talking with someone. You can just ask them to join, and then you have them enter their email address. The great thing is this system will automatically track their express permission and upload them to your Constant Contact account. Saves you a lot of work. We're going to close this section on the importance of growing your list with the idea of rent versus owning your contact. The great news is that the work and effort you put into building the relationships with people that subscribe to your list is enduring. And that means that once you've enticed someone to sign up to your list, the contact is yours. But there's also responsibility. As we discussed, the responsibility to continue to deliver the value that you promised. Otherwise, those subscribers will choose to unsubscribe. So there is real value in building a list, rather than buying or renting one. And under CASL, renting a list does not really fit either express or implied permission guidelines. So renting and buying is not recommended. I want to take a moment to just pause and encourage you to share your ideas. So perhaps you do something that hasn't been mentioned yet, so please share with the audience. So those are some ideas for getting permission, and I want to stress that you need to try to get express permission right away, and that it's important to track how you got that permission. Remember those fines I talked about earlier? If you get caught up in this legislation, you'll need to be able to explain what type of permission you have and how you got the permission if someone asks. To me, why create problems for yourself? Just do it right from the beginning and get express permission right away. Then track it carefully. Now let's take a look at the top 3 most common questions about the Canadian anti-spam legislation. Do I have to reconfirm consent if I've been emailing my contacts for years? If so, what is the best way to do so? The answer is that if documentation was not obtained when the email was initially entered into your contact list, then yes, you must reconfirm consent. Documentation can be a data collection form that you place by your POS system, a record of email opt-ins, or other written or electronic consent. You don't have to worry about family, friends, and pre-existing business contacts, as these are covered under the implied consent. Note, though, that business contacts must have made a purchase within the past 2 years or an inquiry within the past 2 months. Question number 2, how does CASL apply to social networking sites such as LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook? Is it considered express consent when someone likes or follows your page? The answer is social media communications are considered electronic messaging and therefore subject to the law. When we consider what the definition of express consent is and how to acquire it, it seems unlikely that a like or follow could be characterized as meeting these specific requirements. Question number 3. Do opt-ins with proper express permission have an expiry date? The answer is no. If someone opts in with permission, there's no expiry date on their permission. However, there must be a readily accessible unsubscribe option in every communication you send, so that the recipient can opt out at any time. Unsubscribe requests never expire unless someone resubscribes, and they must be processed within 10 days of receipt. You definitely want to start taking action today to comply with the legislation. Okay, in closing, let's take a look at what you can do now to put some of these tips into action. I want to make sure that you download my CASL checklist. It's complimentary and I want you to have it so that you can not only comply with the Canadian anti-spam legislation, but so that you can grow your business. Remember, these are all things that successful online marketers have always used, and it's worked for me and I know it'll work for you too. The exciting news for me is that you can now get all the tools you need to comply with CASL through Constant Contact's Toolkit. Sign up for a trial today through the link below, or if you sign up for a paid account through me today, you'll receive an amazing amount of high-value bonuses that will further help you build your business. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jennifer Hensel, and you can find me at marketingmotivator.com. Let's stay in touch.